top of the league. And if Celtic can continue in this kind of form under that man's leadership, who's to say what this side can achieve?
The one thing about leadership that I've come to understand is that probably the most key ingredient is to be yourself.
The League Cup is coming back to Celtic Park. Ange Postecoglou's reign begins with a trophy.
If you can ride all those kind of currents that exist in our world and still be yourself, I think you've got the better chance of getting people to follow you and believing in you.
Postecoglou has masterminded another piece of silverware.
Has experience changed your style of leadership?
Absolutely. I mean, it's, experience, life experience, professional experience, all those kind of things, absolutely, I think. And that's where staying true to yourself becomes really important.
We'll come back bigger, better, because we never stop.
You're not going to come in here and find the secret to success. This is my secret to success. So that's the challenge for any manager, I guess, is to find the common thread, something that will, motivate, inspire a whole group of people who may be at different stages of their lives and, like I said, to have different upbringings and create a common purpose.
And as it's the international break and there wasn't much football to talk about, I thought it might be good to get your thoughts on leadership and management. When it comes to football management, what is leadership to you?
Look, I don't think it's any different to any other kind of management. I mean, ultimately, the key about all that is you're dealing with people, and as long as you kind of understand that, the sort of the environment or the organisation you work for becomes irrelevant. You need to sort of manage people and understand people and have an affinity and an empathy for each individual within that organisation, and then you try and sort of get everyone heading in the same direction. And football clubs are no different to that. The only difference, I guess, with football and I guess sport in general and maybe other sort of lines of business is that the scrutiny and the balance sheet is there every week rather than sort of every 6 months or 12 months. So you get measured at the end of every week or whenever your games are. So that brings some added, I guess, anxiety around if you let it sort of guide your journey. But ultimately, like I said, it's just about people and understanding them.
We've all had experiences of working with people who we would describe as being great leaders. Who are the ones in your career so far that you have maybe taken tips from and you would consider to be the great leaders?
Look, I think the one thing about leadership that I've come to understand is that probably the most key ingredient is to be yourself. I think, if you try and be someone else or try and do it in a way that was effective or successful for somebody else, ultimately, if that isn't who you are, it's not going to work. Because when you talk about leadership and leaders, people will follow people who they believe in, and that only comes through, like I said, authenticity, that you are who you are. So, but along the way, you kind of, like you said, you get exposed to different people, different types of leadership. You read, you kind of look from afar, and ultimately, if you want to grab that sort of stuff, it should be only stuff that resonates with you and feels natural to you, rather than trying to take, whether that's a football manager like Sir Alex Ferguson, or a leader in industry, or a political leader that you think, okay, well, I really like the way he leads. If you just try and copy and paste that, I just don't think it's going to work. If you use their words, it's not going to work. Like I said, people want to know that you're genuine. So, many people along my journey that I've seen that, I've really enjoyed their leadership, or it has affected me, but ultimately my own style is me, just who I am.
Has experience changed your style of leadership?
Absolutely. I mean, experience, life experience, professional experience, all those kind of things. Absolutely, I think, and that's where staying true to yourself becomes really important, because instead of evolving your leadership to what maybe the latest trends are, it's better if you evolve alongside the experiences you've had. And inevitably in life, whatever you do, as long as you're doing something, you're going to get some things right and some things wrong. You're going to make mistakes, and along the way, if you're prepared to acknowledge that and use those bumps in the road to sort of better yourself, then I think you'll be in a better place with time. So, I'm definitely a different type of leader today than I was when I first started, say, 26 years ago, but the world's changed as well, so you need to be evolving with it.
You have to lead and of course manage a group of performance athletes. Is that unique in any way?
Still human beings, mate. I still come back to the fact that they're still people. Yes, they're very driven, ambitious. For the most part, you're dealing with a group of people who are actually, I reckon, 99% wanted to do this when they were 7 or 8 years old. There aren't many people in society where you can walk into a classroom and say, what do you want to be when you grow up? And that actually happens. Well, that's usually what I'm dealing with. So you kind of know that they've had this dream, this ambition, they've probably overcome many obstacles, many hardships to get to this level. You've already known that they're very strong-willed and ambitious in their desire. So then it's about creating an environment that will continue to inspire them and continue to sort of give them the opportunity to evolve, and there's a lesson in there as well of some sort of humility and understanding that they are living their dream. So I'm not a great one for people complaining or moaning around the place, not because of any other reason, but if I take them back to that little child they were, I think they would, whatever sort of challenges they have in their life at the moment, I think they'll gladly embrace knowing that they're living what they, the dream that they had when they were a young boy.
You are managing a group of individuals, but ultimately football is a team sport. Can you motivate a team?
Yeah, I think so. I think you have to motivate a team. I think if you just focus on the individuals, then as we've seen, particularly in football, you're talking about a real sort of mix of cultures and upbringings and values, and the key to being sort of a strong entity as a unit is to find some commonality amongst that, to know that while the individuals may have different motivating triggers, if you can create a story that unites the group, then you're going to, that's the only way to success in football. I think that's why I love the game, because very few individuals, and we've had some extraordinary runs in the history of football, have enjoyed the ultimate success unless they've been part of a strong unit. So you know that you have to form a strong, cohesive team to be successful. So that's the challenge for any manager, I guess, is to find the common thread, something that will motivate, inspire a whole group of people who may be at different stages of their lives and, like I said, to have different upbringings and create a common purpose.
Just finally, Ange, for someone who's had that 26 years and through experience developed a very successful leadership style, for someone who's an up-and-coming football manager, what would your advice on leadership be to them?
I think, again, like I said before, the most important bit is to be themselves. I've had a lot of sort of young managers and young coaches, not just in football, other sports, come through here, and it's kind of the one message I try and instill in them is that, you're not going to come in here and find the secret to success. This is my secret to success. It's not necessarily yours. What you might find here is an environment where you like certain things, but then it's about how you put that into practice. And as I said, football is particularly nowadays, it's a very demanding environment. There are so many pressures along with it. There's so much scrutiny around everything you do. Like I said, there's that balance sheet you've got to answer to at the end of every week when there's a game on. If you can ride all those kind of currents that exist in our world and still be yourself, I think you've got the better chance of getting people to follow you and believing in you. And that's the most important thing at the end of the day. Beyond the words, beyond the knowledge, beyond everything else, they've got to believe in you as a person.